Hello, my name is Kevin Rourke. I'm making a video response to two videos done by Sameoldji. I apologise for the lateness of these responses, but I'm currently in the middle of moving and I misplaced a cable for my camera, so I haven't really been able to do any videos in a while. But hopefully I'll get a few done over the next few days. Now things are starting to calm down again. The first video he deals with is in his game he's having trouble with the players are in the Shadowrun game. They're just headshotting everything, and it just seems so lethal. Obviously it's a little more difficult just doing regular shot, but it's so lethal and it just means the fights aren't attractive, and he doesn't want to do this in return because, well, then you're just going to end up with a pile of dead PCs. And then when he found out about it, he found out from one of the freelance writers for Shadowrun, PCs are meant to be expendable, and you know he should be doing it back, and that it should be brutal. He's like, yeah, it's supposed to be a brutal and gritty world, but obviously it's not quite the feel he was going for. And to be honest, it wouldn't be quite the feel I'd be going for. I don't have a problem with killing PCs. I don't like killing PCs. But I don't have a problem. I know GMs who have a problem where people never die, or even games where they have fate points where people never end up burning fate points. But that's a whole different topic. But it just go out and out having make it so little that they're just going to die. It's like, yeah, no, I don't agree with that. Now, having deadly dangerous stuff there, yeah, no, I have no problem with that. But just going, yeah, just do the headshots back is like, I don't agree with that. First off, when it comes to headshots, I'll just put my hands up. In a New World of Darkness game, we're all playing Mortals. Initially all playing Mortals. One of the guys came werewolf later on, one of the guys came mage. I stuck as a standard mortal, which meant all my XP just went into the same mortal. And my guy, having survived a zombie plague and come across numerous supernatural things, became a bit of a survivalist nut. Which was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to see how it worked out. But I will be honest, I started going around that game with twin pistols and I was headshotting things because I had no magical abilities. However, in that game, a few reasons. First off, it was about 7 years ago or so, and the GM was being utterly brutal with us. So I felt like I had to go to those extents to a degree, but also because the GM was being terribly straightforward in his brutality. And I was kind of sitting there, even there, you know, I didn't have a huge amount of experience as a role player. I had some, actually, a few years of experience, but it wasn't of particularly high quality role playing games. Like I started off GMing myself, so I was winging it a lot of the time in what I was doing, but I developed my skills in different ways. But back then, I could tell, I was like, you know, this is World of Darkness, they have ghosts, they have different things, they have all sorts of things. Even at the extremely high XP level we were at, if he threw in a ghost at us or something that couldn't directly be damaged, and we wouldn't do that. Even the mage guy even the guy who was a mage was in there going like, I don't know, unless I've seen some cultural, we've never fought anything like this. Everything's been a physical threat. And when you have a Garou form, you know, werewolf barreling down on you, you start thinking, maybe I should just shoot him. So yeah, I started doing that and I stuck with it. The GM never gave out or said that he found it frustrating to my recollection anyway. But because the way the game was going, I was like, you could still make this so much more challenging. But he was pulling out crazy stuff. We were having like vampire hit squads coming after him. I was like, this is a bit excessive. He got advice off another GM to crash a plane into where our characters were living, that the vampires would do. So I was like, that seems excessive. Then again, I'm thinking maybe the other GM was like, yeah, just kill him off. I don't care. I don't like the sounds of your game anyway. Maybe he's just kind of trying to tell something to get him to stop asking for advice. I don't know. If he genuinely thought, yeah, the vampires would crash a plane, it's like, it does seem a bit excessive, especially since much less would do it. Much less attention grabbing stuff would do it. And much easier to do stuff to do it. But yeah, the physical stuff wouldn't have been, you know, non-physical stuff and corporeal stuff and substantial things, or just plain creative stuff would have done it. I mean, one time myself and the mage character, where he was to join his order of mages or whatever, he had to perform some kind of task, and to go and get this particular object from a forest, and your man, there was another mage there defending the forest, was like, you can't take this. He's like, they end up fighting, but your man's talking away, and as soon as, like, my character is his fairly low humanity. The thing, you know, the GM was being a bit ridiculously harsh on some stuff. Like, we stole a car to, like, we hotwired a car to get away from a zombie horde during the zombie apocalypse. All chances were this guy was like, and the GM made us make a humanity roll. And that's the tip of the iceberg. I was like, but there's a zombie horde, and logically, I was like, you know, this seems like one of those times when you should get, you know, you'd be allowed to waive it, because, or at least make it easier. But no, he was like, no, you gotta make a roll. He's doing silly things like that, which I didn't agree with. Like, even just making the roll easier, kind of going, yeah, you can rationalize it yourself, but you still gotta make a roll. It's like, so Mike, I was just watching him. I was just like watching him. As soon as I realized the tries, like, I know he's a mage. I don't know that much about mages, but I'm not here to find out more. I was just here as a backup for your man. Fired twin pistols, double tap, head down, and we were all like, "Well, seriously, he's dead." And he's like, "Yeah, no, he doesn't have any hit points." We're like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Oh no, he's a necromancer. He didn't have any, like, he didn't have abilities that could stop that." And we're like, "Oh, okay." Then we go off and we check the book, and he's like, we actually looked at some necromancers. Like, he could have had an ectoplasm form thing. None of us know. We don't know. Like, the mage character doesn't know that much about magic. He's just starting off. If we had shot him, he turned into goo. We would have been confused as hell. Then he could have done, like, a thing that would do a heart attack on me. He could have done all this lethal stuff. He didn't have to necessarily do all the lethal stuff, but he could have done things to make us safer. It's like, James, just keep thinking, I'll do a direct assault physical. When you're using mages, no. He could have done so much better, done so much more of an interesting take in it, but then my guy just took him out. But when it comes to headshots, I'll be honest with you, I'd go to the players and just say, look, it's not fun for me as a GM to go off and design these scenarios just so you guys will go and headshot, like, work out a lot, do an interesting encounter, but every time they come and just headshot. I was like, take every time. I was like, that's boring. And they just said, pretty much what I say to them was like, that's not necessarily that fun for you as a GM, because you're just doing the one I win button every time. It's like bam, bam, bam. He's like, I headshot him. I was like, that's not entertaining. You can point out that as, like, because I know myself, like, I would get very disheartened by it, and I'd say what's going to happen is I'm going to stop putting as much effort into the fights. They're going to get a lot less interesting, and they're not going to be very interesting when you're just headshotting everyone. And the only recourse you have aside from that, you're getting advised by the games developers, is to just do headshots back in them and kill them, which they're not going to have fun with either, unless that's the kind of game they're going for. But just, I don't like that approach. I just say to us, like, yeah, it's going to get listening. I'm going to get less enthusiastic about this game. The fights are going to get more boring, and eventually you can just, because I know myself, I don't know if it's exactly how you feel, but I imagine you're gonna eventually just start getting really unenthusiastic about the game, and you're not gonna have fun with it. I know I would just, dear God, I just wouldn't have fun with that. When it comes to expendable PCs, no. With some games, I'm happy with ramping up the kind of the difficulty kind of is, but I never say PCs are expendable. With certain games like Only War, you have to show that you have, you know, it's a brutal world, you have NPCs running around you who are really not anywhere as good as your characters, and they will die, and there are different things, although my game of that's a bad example because none of them have died somehow. The players have been very lucky in that respect. But yeah, no, it's, I just don't agree with the whole expendable PCs thing. I also don't agree with, as I've said, the PCs having to run off and not be in danger, that they're always going to win or break even, that nobody's going to die. I don't like that. It removes challenge, and it cheapens your successes when you know there was no huge risk. Worst case scenario, you're going to survive. Even if you lose gear, even if you lose different things, if there's no chance of a character dying or losing fate points and things, it makes your victories less. When you know the GM is pushing you and he's not pulling punches, when you do succeed, it means so much more. But that's my own opinions on it. I'll leave it at that. I'll see you again. Goodbye.